Good evening, and welcome to my channel, The Authentic Self. It is so amazing to have you here. Today is April 8th, 2020, and I'm feeling really grateful right now. Just an immense gratitude for these past few days and all of these wonderful changes that have been occurring in my life and in the lives of many around me. I feel like despite all that is happening, there's so much good things that happen too that we need to pay attention to, right? Last night we had a beautiful full moon, a super full moon in the sign of Libra. And particularly in my chart, my rising and my moon are in Libra. So whenever the moon is stationed in Libra, I feel the energy just so much more amplified. And I'm pretty sure that many of you felt the same way last night. The moon's energy was just intensely beautiful. You know, I always think of the moon and I think of feminine energy. I think of our emotions, right? And how they play a role in our lives. Thinking of the moon's energy in combination with the Libra energy, for me, it's something so beautiful. Just because of the fact that Libra brings in that balance into the equation, along with our emotion, right, and passion. We're also in the sun sign and season of Aries, right? That's still going on. So a combination of all of these things going on at once in the universe is just, it's a very productive time, you know? It's a very productive time. And it's a time to seek balance in the ways we go towards manifesting our goals, right? Libra teaches us to be wise in our decision, to really think through both sides of the situation. But it's also about taking strategic action and feeling what it is that makes sense right now for you, for the collective. And the moon here illuminates a lot of that for us, right? Sometimes we'll dive back into old feelings and old emotions when full moons occur. And that's okay, you know? Do what feels right. But for me, full moons are such a great opportunity to manifest and to set intentions and goals and to think of what we could do in combination with the energy we're being exposed to. What could we do to create something better? Also considering all that's happening outside, right? In the outside world. What could we do as light workers, as angelic beings, as human beings? What can we do to make a difference? And I just want to thank you again for being here. Today's reading will be a general collective tarot message for you. May this reading resonate with the hearts and souls this video comes across. And may this resonate and feel good, most importantly. So before I started this recording, I had a previous one. And in that previous one, it got cut off because that happens, right? But I already had shuffled and I have yet to flip the cards. I have not seen what the cards are, but they are already laid out, okay? So I'm just going to resume back to where I was. But essentially, the reading had not even started, so It is okay. We are still here live. But essentially just wanted to let you know why the cards are already laid out. I usually would shuffle before my readings very thoroughly on camera even. But in this case, I figured to not put the cards back simply because I lost connection. So I'm going to go with my gut and stick with the cards that fell out. And I will just kind of resume back to where I was, all right? So for the overall energy of this reading, we have the Three of Pentacles. So in tarot, pentacles have a lot to do with, it's earth energy, right? It has to do with our grounding energy, our finances. Kind of, Pentacles is a slow-moving energy because it really tells us to build things from the ground up, right? It kind of serves that purpose of stability, right? It gives us a sense of validation here. You could see there is 3 characters in this image. And when I see the Three of Pentacles, I think of collaboration and coming together to create something greater. And it's so funny that I was just speaking to this before about the fact that it's about slowly coming to our goals. And knowing that when we do so in a collaborative effort, right, when we come together, so much more could be accomplished. You could see here the 3 characters are kind of discussing and debating, right, the architecture here that they seem to be creating. This just reminds me of that effort that we've been trying to manifest now. Through these hard times, coming together, reuniting, connecting, and seeing the bigger purpose, right? Seeing the bigger picture, thinking about what is the final product we want to see in all of this, right? And I feel like ideas are really, really starting to grow, okay? And I feel like it's really about releasing our fears, right? So the full moon's energy will do that too, simply reminding us to release and let go of what doesn't feel good so we can allow space for what does feel good, right? So for the past position, we have the Page of Swords. So Page of Swords usually has to do with an energy that speaks to our logic, right? Taking a risk on our thinking is what I think of when I see this card, and really just noticing what it is that drives us. The Pages in Tarot is usually a card that represents the beginning, the commencement, you could say, of an idea of some sort. Swords have to do with logic and our mental clarity. And the Page of Swords seems to be seeking that mental clarity at this time in this card, okay? And it's interesting seeing in a combination with this energy here, we have the Nine of Wands, which came out in the reverse. So usually the Nine of Wands, it speaks about someone who has been through a lot, right? And it seems that this person has had a life that has, bruised them up in a way, right? Has shaken them up a bit, has struck a little bit of fear in them. But we also have to consider that this is a 9 card, right? And the Wands in Tarot speak to passion, speak to our abilities to connect with ourselves and be creative. And a lot of the times when I see the 9 of Wands, I think of someone who is tired, who is run down, and is someone who just seems to be handling a lot on their own. Someone who seems to be handling a lot on their own, who is overwhelmed. But remember, the 10 of Wands would be the completion, and that's the following card after this one. So this means essentially in the present moment, we are very close to what we want to manifest, okay? We have this idea that's been brewing in our minds, right? The Page of Swords. We've been wanting to manifest this new beginning, right? But there's something that may be holding us back here. And seeing this card in the reversal, the Nine of Wands, it makes me feel like, in a way, we are allowing our fears to control us, right? We are starting to think that the way we began our journey isn't necessarily going the way that we wanted to. And, that's a very real thought, just because of the fact of, all of us going through such hard times right now. It's really interesting to see how this card really depicts some of, our own insecurities and fears, and how we want to run away from things. Even things that are near completion, like this card represents, right? And I feel like, so this was our past card, right? The initiation, in a way, that idea that we want to bring to life passionately. But I feel like we are allowing the fears, right, to give us a future that holds a lot of anxiety and uncertainty. So there's something here that this full moon in Libra has an emphasis on here, okay? And don't get me wrong, full moons are very intense. They bring up feelings that make us question ourselves. And a lot of the time, people will experience sleepless nights during a full moon, just because the energies are often that potent. I am one to usually go to bed pretty late during a full moon, just because the energy keeps me up. But essentially, this speaks to the fact that I feel like this full moon really wants to highlight in the collective that we no longer need to continue to allow our thinking to create a belief that we are not capable of manifesting our dreams, okay? For our sidebar card, we've received the Ace of Cups. And the Ace of Cups speaks of a new beginning that is a promise of emotional fulfillment, right? So we may be thinking to ourselves right now, right? Let me just show you. We may be thinking to ourselves right now that we are not good enough for this new beginning, and that our future is going to result in a lot of sadness and hurt and pain. And a lot of the times, I will tell you this, that when we base our present decisions with actions or memories of the past, it's gonna get in the way of what we're trying to manifest here. Because this is what we want, right? That emotional, abundant, new beginning that is real. An emotional offer, right? Ace of Cups speaks to an emotional offer. Whether it be the universe or somebody else in your life. There's something here that wants to come forward and present you with the emotional fulfillment that you've been wanting. And remember, the overall energy of this reading is the Three of Pentacles. It speaks of collaboration. It speaks of coming together, of community, of working towards a bigger picture. It seems that maybe in this journey we started alone, right? We didn't think of other people. We were like, I could do this on my own. I could do this by myself. My mind is clear. And fair enough, in many things in life we could do by ourselves. But in the end, will that beginning for you result in what you want? Or will it result into something that produces a lot of anxiety? So in order to ease our mind, right? How could we open ourselves up to emotional fulfillment? How could we open ourselves up to the light and the love that God wants us to see? And I'm going to quickly clarify, may it be God, universe, whatever it may be, right? I'm going to clarify for you real quick. Just super quick, okay? We're a little bit past regular time, but it's okay. Just super quick. To clarify the Page of Swords, this idea may have something to do with our abundant future, right? This idea of some sorts is a desire that is something that we really want. That is, it could be in a form of a relationship, of a promised future of some sort, right? This desire that we're holding on to is a real one. The Four of Wands speaks of marriage, of love, happiness, celebration, okay? This is the desire that we want. That's what clarified the Page of Swords, but check this out. For the Nine of Wands reverse, right, the one that I was like, I see this card and I think of us giving up in a way. I feel like this sense of giving up here, you see, it's clarified by the Four of Pentacles, which is a card to me that speaks of someone who wants to keep everything to themselves. There's a sense here that this card, the Four of Pentacles, is speaking to the fact that maybe certain actions that we take out of fear end up being selfish, right? And we may be thinking we're protecting ourselves. I don't mean to say selfish in a mean way. I'm just being blunt by what the cards are expressing to me. But what are we holding on to so much, right? What is it that's holding us, right? The universe wants us to look at that, because if we really think that we are not worthy of an emotionally abundant future, right? That's waiting for us. Why isn't that when we take the journey on our own, as the cards say, the future results in this, right? Why do we feel like that? And now to see this card clarified by the Eight of Cups, which speaks about seeking spiritual fulfillment, needing more, right? You see in this card, there's a character who is walking away from the 8 golden cups that are already there because it just wasn't enough, right? Sometimes what it takes is collaboration. Sometimes we have to realize that we don't need to do everything on our own to feel emotionally abundant, right? That in order to really open ourselves up to a happy new beginning, right? To manifest the life of our dreams, right? Happiness. We just need to learn how to open ourselves up. And that's why for our current energy right now, to clarify the Ace of Cups, we got the Hangman. And this is someone who's in contemplation, right? Who's in meditation and contemplation and coming back to themselves. So I feel like this new moon is really emphasizing coming back to ourselves and realizing that we don't need to take on all these burdens, right? All these burdens, we don't need to take them on. Pretty soon, we don't want to have to drop everything to realize that it wasn't for us, right? The universe wants us to see that we are capable of manifesting the life of our dreams. And this was after the second shuffle I did. The Magician was at the bottom of the deck. So this is our time. This is our time. Are we going to give in and give up on ourselves, or are we going to be manifestors, right? Are we going to believe in ourselves? Are we going to come together and collaborate and work towards the future we desire? That is your message for the Libra full moon. Very passionate, right? I'm feeling like this is hitting in many ways. This could be speaking to your career, to your love life, to so many things. But really, the overall message is to let go of our burdens and our anxieties and our fears so we could allow in what is truly emotionally fulfilling, what will truly give us that sense of self and that empowerment that we need to step into our magician energy. I love the Magician. This is one of my favorite cards. The Magician speaks to all of the elements. There's a pentacle, there's a sword, there's a wand, there's a cup, there's an infinity sign. This is a forever. This is the becoming of something greater. And the cards are only saying it is never too late to seek the emotional fulfillment we deserve. And if we feel that's missing at any point, it's important to remember to go back into ourselves, whether that be through music, through meditation, whatever it may be. That is what is going to essentially crown us and help us come to clarity about what it is that we deserve. Thank you so much. Have a beautiful, beautiful rest of your day.